Thanks so much for that, T.S. Sudhir, giving us the latest from Hyderabad. And now to the big news that we have just broken on Headlines Today, and this is a Headlines Today exclusive. Another showdown seems to be brewing between LK Advani and leaders running the BJP. The BJP leadership wants octogenarian leaders LK Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi not to contest the forthcoming Lok Sabha elections and to voluntarily accept a Rajya Sabha berth instead. But both leaders have put their foot down, leaving the BJP managers in a bind. The India Today group has learned that RSS mandarins in Nagpur have communicated to BJP President Rajnath Singh that the party should not give tickets to leaders above the age of 75. However, after having gotten embroiled in two major showdowns with LK Advani over the elevation of Narendra Modi, the BJP president is treading with caution and is trying to avoid another ugly confrontation with the party stalwart. Advani himself has publicly ruled out the possibility of giving up his Lok Sabha ticket.
मुझे तो किसी ने कहा नहीं है, मैंने आज किसी एक पत्र में देखा जरूर, लेकिन मुझे कोई सुझाव देगा तो फिर मैं सोचूंगा। लेकिन स्वाभाविक रूप से मैं मानता हूं कि अगर विचार करना होता तो इससे पहले कर लेता।
आप लोकसभा का चुनाव ही लड़ेंगे?
अभी तक तो मन में यही है, आप जैसे लोग सुझा रहे हो, दूसरा कुछ तो पता नहीं।
And editor-at-large India Today Group Rahul Kamal is joining us from the Headlines Today newsroom. Rahul, we know how LK Advani has been quite vocal in the past, including being extremely anti the anointment of Narendra Modi as the BJP prime ministerial candidate. Is this a move to get him out of, get out of the way any member of the BJP who openly speaks out against Modi?
Well, there's a section of BJP leaders who are at the helm of affairs in the party at this time, Maruk, who are trying very hard to ensure that both LK Advani and Murli Manohar Joshi are eased into the Rajya Sabha, into the House of Elders, and do not get Lok Sabha tickets. Because Varanasi and Gandhinagar are the two seats that are being looked at very closely for Modi to contest from, and both these seats are currently occupied by these octogenarians. However, both Dr. Joshi and LK Advani have firmly put their foot down. The ball currently is in the court of BJP President Rajnath Singh, and he's run into trouble twice over with LK Advani over Narendra Modi. The first time was during the National Executive in Goa. The second time was during the Parliamentary Board meeting in Delhi. This time, Rajnath Singh treading very cautiously, and efforts are being made at this time to see if Advani ji voluntarily steps aside. They don't want to rock the boat at a time when you've got three big opinion polls coming out and showing very good tidings for the BJP under Narendra Modi. These leaders wanting to proceed cautiously and see if they can help ease these leaders out without it escalating into an ugly brawl. However, I spoke to senior Advani aides at 30 Prithviraj Road. They are livid with what they believe are games being played by these leaders. They say that the whole process, Maruf, of decision making within the BJP is being subverted, and instead of these matters being discussed in official party forum, they're being put out into the media so that public pressure is made to bear, and that's how they believe that the BJP leadership wants to knock out Advani's candidature. But Advani ji is very firm. He says, I am here to stay. Right now, things very, very tentatively poised, and let's see how they unravel over the next 48 hours, Maruk.
Well, Rahul, the details, these exclusive details that you have seem to indicate that this is clearly coming from Nagpur. But would you, in your assessment and your understanding of the BJP, say that this would perhaps have gone through Narendra Modi as well?
Well, let me just bring out some nuance, Maruk. Nagpur, and I asked Mohan Bhagwat this question in an interaction that I had with him. The RSS chief said that those above 75 should not ideally fight on the Lok Sabha ticket. That's the view that the RSS has. However, unlike the last two occasions when there was a missive, when there was a clear direction from Nagpur that you need to elevate Narendra Modi, this time there's a general principle, a general guideline that's been held out for the BJP leadership. And Mohan Bhagwat also realizes that when things are going well, they don't want to create an ugly confrontation with Advani just before the elections. He put out a very embarrassing blog saying that party is being run by vested affairs. People are putting their own individual interests ahead of party interests, and that didn't go down well. So this time they're trying to ensure, of course, Narendra Modi himself would ideally want to contest from one of these two seats, Gandhinagar and Varanasi, if not both. they would want this to happen. But right now, given the adamant stance of both Dr. Joshi and Advani, especially Dr. Joshi, whenever anybody meets him, says, I've been assured that I'm contesting. There's no question for me stepping aside. So 2 other seats are now being looked at very, very closely. There's Vadodara in Gujarat and there is Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh. Lucknow also because that's the seat that Atal Bihari Vajpayee used to contest from, and it will symbolically show, Maruk, Narendra Modi stepping into Vajpayee ji's shoes as the inheritor of his legacy, which is why they believe that Lucknow is a good seat for Modi to contest from. However, there's a very high percentage of Muslims, about 18-20% Muslims in the seat of Lucknow, and therefore there's a possibility of a polarization against Modi. But the BJP at this time is fairly confident that the counter Hindu polarization will be so strong that even if there is a Muslim polarization against Modi and both the Shias and the Sunnis gang up against Modi, there is still enough of a momentum to push Modi through in Lucknow as well.
Rahul Kamal, for giving us your perspective and this exclusive story. Thanks so much.